Good afternoon everyone, welcome to a special edition of Under the Hood. Myself and Ian has travelled over to Automechanika 2025 into NEC in Birmingham. We come over here, we're going to have a look around, see what's new and what's coming down the road in the automotive world. And so we're going to record a wee bit. Ian's here representing Chief Redbeard. And as you can see, he thought he was going to Malta this morning, but you look.
No.
what can we do?
Birmingham will have to do.
He was disappointed when the plane came down very quick. So we're here today with Neilish from Automechanika, ECU repair specialists.
Yep.
Tell us a wee bit what you do.
Yep, so what we do, we repair engine ECUs, stereos, clusters, anything to do with vehicles that have been diagnosed as faulty. So you send it in to us, we'll repair it and we'll send it back to you.
What would be a typical repair or fault you would see?
At the moment, we're seeing a lot of ABS pumps that are failing.
Yeah.
On Fords, where they're blocking up and then they're sending them to us. They're binding, the brakes are binding.
Yes.
They'll send it to us, we'll clear it all out and send it back to them. We're seeing a lot of clusters fail, especially on bikes and stuff like that as well, where the screens fail and then even placing. What else we're sending? So other things are touch screens. We're seeing a lot of them at the moment from the dealerships.
Yeah.
Where the touch screens no longer work anymore, like on a Nissan or a Mitsubishi. They send it to us, we repair it and we send it back.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of stuff at the moment.
I know we're seeing a lot of G30 BMWs in the 5 Series, the screen's going blank and things like that.
Yeah. We're seeing them as well, yeah. So just suddenly go blank, or intermittently and then they go blank. We do see them as well, yeah.
And ECUs, so for example, we know a lot of, some of the engine ECUs, guys do tuning. We do tune ourselves through Avon Tuning.
Yeah.
And first, guys are bomb-proof, but we have seen somewhere where you might have a tech, especially when he's doing a bench, and might just touch something he shouldn't touch.
Yeah.
And just the stuff like that is...
Yeah, so we're not a normal repair company, we'll get involved in stuff like that as well. Yeah. As long as we could talk to your tech and find out exactly what happened.
You probably won't know.
Yeah. And almost tell us, where it's been and discuss it with us, as in our tech talks to your tech, and it was sort of between us work out where the issue was. The biggest problem we have, especially when it's human intervention, is to work out where the issue was, because it's not like a normal problem.
Yeah.
So it's just we say most of the time the answer's in the person's head. We just got to get it out of you and then work it out from there.
And see, for example, 10 years ago, 2015, the sort of problems you saw then versus what you're seeing now, is there much change?
It's getting a bit more software related now.
Right.
The hardware is getting a little bit better. It's more software issues where the things are breaking down software-wise. And a lot of it is because of techs are going in with their probes, spiking their ECU and spiking stuff out. Yeah. Thinking that, they could still do that, like in the back in the day when we used to do it.
Yeah, the older hardware they'd be more forgiving.
Yeah, the older time, yeah, you're right, they're more forgiving. Now they're becoming a bit more so critical, yeah. Take that pulse thing off them and, just use normal multimeters, I think. Yeah. But yeah, it's more difficult now.
Yeah, that's what we're finding out ourselves. The problem's more advanced.
Massively advanced. But the biggest problem we have is testing it on the bench. It's because obviously we haven't got the vehicle with us.
Yes.
Then to simulate something on the bench is so difficult.
Yeah.
And if the problem is just like a one-off problem, it's so difficult to then spend hours and hours on it, because you might never see that problem again.
And would you have facilities if a car was sent over to you?
Yeah. Yeah, so we can do. So if there's a major issue and we think that we're going to get somewhere, and we could maybe learn off it as well, we could invite the person.
It's always the fun bit, isn't it? It's always the one you do, the one that you're like, right, what's going on?
We can do. We have done in the past. If they're willing to send it, and they're willing to wait for a little bit, we're happy to look at it, yeah.
It's a fun bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. And thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It was a great 3 days.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
That's not factory.
No.
No pressure.
3, 2, 1.
I could have done that quicker too.
So Chief Redbeard's just gone out of the picture, and we're joined here by Ro from BM Cathys. Ro, thanks for taking time to have a quick chat.
You're welcome.
Tell me more about what you do as regards Catalyst and DPF.
Okay, so we're probably the biggest European manufacturer.
Okay.
It's all aftermarket product. That's not OE. Manufactured here in the UK. So based over in Mansfield in Nottingham, we've got 4 manufacturing plants, and we supply pretty much all the UK-based buying groups and that. Probably 60% of our turnover now comes from export. So we export over 35 countries. Our biggest export markets in Europe are probably Poland, Germany. It's catalytic converters our main. There's those DPFs obviously we got into 10, 12 years ago. We do all the pressure pipes and everything for them as well.
Very common, yeah.
Okay.
Sound to Castrol.
Yeah, Qashqai's, Renault's, all sorts of stuff. We do all our fittings for them. We just launched a range of GPFs now. So petrol parts.
Yeah, that's the latest.
Yeah, that's the latest technology. So that's 1 litre 3-cylinder cars. A lot of them have particulate filters fitted to them.
What we're seeing on the brown in the workshop is a lot of DPFs failing now.
Yep.
Ford 1.5,
Yep.
these TDCI and the Fords.
Yep.
Massive problem with them. And some of them are cracking them.
Right.
Some of them are cracking, but they're still letting the suck through.
Okay.
And that's where, do you offer like direct replacement?
Yeah, all we do is just direct replacement parts. We don't do it, you get involved in any cleaning or anything like that. It's purely a replacement product.
Aye, but it's not. We don't have to start cutting and welding. It's
No, it is literally bolt on.
bolt on.
Bolt on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And useful. And what would be one of your, say, some of your biggest movers?
The biggest mover is a part over there, which is Peugeot Citroën.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest selling DPF in the UK market at the moment. So within the DPF range, we do 2 ranges. So we do a standard cordurite, which is a basic ceramic, comes with a 2-year warranty. But we also do this, which is a silicon carbide.
Yes.
So it's the OE substrate, and then we just do our own metalwork around it. And that product comes with a 3-year warranty. Okay, so it's OE technology, so that's the market money really.
On our podcast, we're talking to different people from all across Europe.
Okay.
And it seems to be a common issue across Europe where a lot of people are just put the big hole down through the middle and remap them out. As testing comes in,
Yes.
we're surprised to find out that in some, we had Gilbert Groot from JLM Lubricants who flew over to have a chat with us. And he had said that the testing that goes on in the Netherlands, that some cars that even have the DPFs in them
No.
are still failing.
Yeah.
So it's something that DPFs are going to have to be changed.
Yeah, so I think the UK government's been looking at this. I think they trialled it through some test stations last year. And I guess at some point it will come through. But the majority of Europe is now on that. So you look at the Dutch market, I think we increased our DPF sales by about 800%.
Yeah.
When that first testing came in. So, apply the same logic behind it, and potentially, if the testing came into the UK, we could potentially see nearly 400,000 vehicles fail that test.
That's half the car park in the UK and Ireland will be.
Yeah, because people have taken them out or what have you and it's remapped. So instead at that point, you need to go put a DPF back on and then remap it back to original state.
Original factory, yeah. So, but you have an option, so there's no need to be going back to the deal.
No.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
All right.
Taking time to help us.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
So it's over here on the Castrol stand in Automechanika 2025 with Mr. Paul Round from Castrol Technical. Paul, tell us a wee bit about the stand, what's going on, what he's promoting.
Right, so the idea of the Castrol technical drop-in stand, we're trying to educate the garage owners to put in the right oil in the right car. I think there's a bit of a trend where the garage owners are confused. There's lots of new specifications coming out. It's constantly changing, and we're just trying to educate the garage owners to put the right oil in the right car.
One of the things I noticed over here on the stand is have you're going into transmission oil flushing. It's something we've been doing now for 4 or 5 years back in our garage. It's going very well for us, but one of the things we noticed with Castrol's product range is you offer Transmax fluid that covers such a wide variety of cars. So Well, historically, we have had to have 5 or 6 different oils for different applications. We don't have that anymore. It's one oil, multi-grade.
Yes, so the Transmax 80 Dextron 6 Mercon LV multi-vehicle. It's quite a long title, but it's got a real good wide coverage. So it's got the Ford Mercon, it's got the 80 Dextron 6, but it then also covers the BMW
Z8.
8 9-speed.
Yeah.
So it's a very good multi-product. I think when we did the stats, it was something like 48% of vehicles on the road were covered by just that one product in an ATF.
Yeah, and that's it. It's really important because now we've just completely minimised that back to just a few cans, which is good business sense when it comes to running the garage.
Yes, yeah, and I think from the ATF, the DSG fluids, CVT, I think there's around 5 Castrol products that would cover around 90% of the market.
Very good. And another, and a bit of backup on that is, as we discussed with Simon, is that you, as a company, have your engineers in-house with the manufacturers when they're developing the cars and building them. So,
Yes.
you know, to be able to have on-the-floor knowledge as the cars have been built, I think it's really starting.
Yeah, it's nothing. Castrol got obviously a number of partners they work with, the Ford, the Honda, Volvo. They were very close to these manufacturers, and they're developing the fluids alongside the manufacturer. They're co-engineered. They're not just made and sent for an approval. They're co-engineered with these manufacturers, so they get the best products for that vehicle.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, thanks very much for your time. I hope you have a great day.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Still here at Automechanika 2025, and we're sitting beside Marco from Dimsport and also Gareth from Avon Tuning. Gareth, thanks for taking the time to invite you. Gareth's like to drag us onto this site stand. We're having a wee look at the new Genius 2. Anyone that's familiar with Remap will remember Genius 1 and also Traz Data. Gareth, you're saying that the new Genius 2 is Traz Data and Genius all in one?
Yeah, that's right. So it's configurable as either OBD or bench or OBD and bench. So it's fantastic for someone who just starting out, maybe wants just car and LCV protocols OBD.
Yeah.
And then let's say they get a bench job in, we now don't have to send them more hardware. We just activate that. So it comes with everything you need to do bench. So it's going to be much more flexible from a sales commercial point of view and for the end user.
And one of the other things you're saying, which is going to be a great point, is that you no longer have to leave it in the car. So we're all familiar with having to put the battery stabilizer on, connect the Genius, depending on the application. So we wait 45 minutes. Customer happens to pop back in, and mid-right, they open the door and knock the lead out.
Yeah.
And that can be a major problem, whereas this now, it's remote.
Sort of. So this will still need to be plugged into the vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's still an independent tool. So if you still like the features of Genius, where you just plug it in and it's all touchscreen, no laptop required.
Yeah.
But if you've got a long read, you could plug that in to the vehicle, press read, then go back and sit in your nice warm office like you like to, Sean.
Oh, yeah.
And you can then monitor it from the PC.
Oh, so you don't, it's not, so this is still in the car,
Still
physically?
in the car, but it's connected to the PC through Wi-Fi as well.
Brilliant, so you're not worried about losing packets through Wi-Fi?
Correct.
Yeah, it can work both ways, through USB connection or through the same Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
So as Garrett was saying, you can actually connect to the tool and just mirror the screen and operate it from your office. Okay, so...
Am I right in saying you could have multiple connected? You could
Yeah,
have
absolutely. You can have multiple machines on the same network or through USB, and then you decide which one you can connect to. Okay.
So if you're a busy tuning shop, you could...
Yeah, you can have 2 machines working, and then you select which one. So even if you have an hotspot on your phone, but if you also connect your laptop or your PC under the same hotspot, you can actually work like this. So remotely,
So one way or the other you can, because I know before Garrett,
we use Wi-Fi hotspot or no problem.
we've had a few issues with different vehicles in the past, and not tune issues, but diagnostic issues. And we've got great support from your guys. I know Rich was great, helped us with a Land Rover years back, but he was able to remotely connect into
Now
the
we can on this.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a thing called a VPN connection.
You can use it, or in a simple way, what you can do is you have your machine connected to your laptop, and then Garrett can connect through TeamViewer to your laptop and do basically the same operation, even without the VPN system.
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Because at the moment, if someone's got a Genius tool connected to a vehicle, and they can't find the protocol, we can only help by phone.
Yeah,
Or we have to do some sort of WhatsApp call or something like that, but we'll be able to remote into that machine and help.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the, I know it's one of your strongest points is the backup. You know, it's always when there's an issue, it's an issue with a vehicle that you have to be handled in a certain way. And it's fair to say not all agents are mechanics. There's some people that they want to go, they love cars, they might be enthusiasts or whatever, but their knowledge is limited. So, you know what I mean? I know with Avon Tuning's team, between engineers and everyone else here, you know what I mean? This is just the backup's there, the knowledge is there. So being able to connect remotely for support is very important.
It takes it to the next level, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Are you just remotely operating it, or can you actually pull a file off that screen?
I can do everything from here. Theoretically, I just need someone who actually turn ignition on and off in the car, but I can be in my office like that. Okay, so you can see here that now I'm selecting the type, and the system gives me what options I have for this. Or if we go here on the latest one, on the new MG1, we have OBD and bench operation. And unlike the older tool, I also have all the connection manuals directly in the machines. Then the other feature about this new tool is that working online, also offline, but the tool is constantly up to date. So it doesn't require long updates just for downloading one single protocol version, for example. Because every time I'm opening the protocol, it's checking with the server if there's a newer version of that protocol and automatically downloads it and installs it.
If you left that on, it would automatically...
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the biggest problems with the current setup.
You have 20
files
and then
because if you have a problem with a protocol, that has to be fixed by technical support. So they release a new version. To get that new version, you had to run a complete firmware update of the tool. That could take like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on the speed, on how big it was. In this case, it's just a few seconds.
So I know one of the downsides of the last tool is that when you download the file, and you hadn't got, you might have maybe 5 files left before you have to do it.
You have to
update it. So you might go to upload the file to the laptop to Flashpoint before you send it off to the portal. And they might say, there's a newer version of this, since you get the wee nag messages coming up.
Yeah.
And if you weren't familiar with computers, or if you weren't you could end up updating the thing in the middle and then making a mess.
Exactly.
So you're saying because this has come always up to date.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an interesting point as well, because I'd say 75% of our technical support is on computer operation.
Yeah.
Software problems on the computer. USB connection's not working.
Yeah.
This eliminates all that. So from our point of view, as guys doing tech support to slaves, we should cut down at least 75% of our tech support.
Yeah. No, that's massive. Definitely. It's all...
I think that's... Sorry, go on.
I saw his advertising, or you put up imagery of this last week, and I want to see that. It's a new toy.
There's some future plans for this as well. Am I right in saying that you guys are hoping to add diagnostics to this as well?
Yeah, absolutely. The system was designed to already have more than just the programming functions. Otherwise, it's a new tool, it's a standalone, but it's just another programming tool. The idea was to actually integrate it with more functions like diagnostic system, data logging system, because the sensors are already built in. Accelerometer, GPS, Bluetooth, so in the future, it will be a sort of all-in-one system.
Yeah, it'd be great, because we spoke with, did a wee bit of work with BMW there a few weeks ago, and one of the things that we spoke about in the interview was the wow factor and what differentiates you from the next guy, and in what you're doing to make the experience that we have as as an agent better. And as you said, I could easily just as I sit here in front of you, I can see other competition.
Yeah.
But it's this is clearly miles ahead to be able to plug this in and do the diagnostic and not have to come with a different laptop and plug in your diagnostic, what's this? Oh, it's only a P0401 or something silly like that. No, wipe it and add it in on the portal. Things like that there. So that's a game changer, really.
Yeah, I mean, we had two choices. Either become like the other, so just a box connected to a PC. Or take a little longer in the design and production, but to give you the benefit of the whole tool, that's the Genius with the touchscreen, integrated trust data, and also design it, as I said before, to integrate more functions, but without relying on a laptop, without relying on the computer. The idea behind this new machine was exactly to have something like a tablet, mobile phone. So an operating system that is straightforward. So everybody's using a mobile phone or a tablet. So it's not Android based, but it's basically like having a tablet. So intuitive operations, configurations, stuff like that. So this gives us the possibility to actually be very quick in fixing problems or adding new features and stuff like that. So
No, that's brilliant. Brilliant. No, thanks very much.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Gareth, thank you as well.
Ian, grab a card out of there for me. Show it to Sean, but don't show it to me. I'll look away. Oh, you better show it. Oh, nearly dropped them all. Better show it to the camera as well. Once you've done that, place it down there for me. What we're going to do here, one card is now going to jump out the pack up in the air, do a triple salto, a double somersault, I catch it. It does sound good because I don't know what triple salto is, and I'll probably drop it. And there's a bit of wind coming in. You ready for this? One card, Ian, out the pack, up in the air, incredibly, happens to be your 8 of diamonds.
Well done. Matches and all.
No.
Did you pick that because it's red?
I did. Was it honestly not? Oh, hold on to that then. What card was it, by the way?
Joker.
The Joker. Can you wave the 8 of diamonds over the pack? Other way up. Like that. And that's magic at the BM Catalytic Converter stand for Automechanika 2025.
I like the color.
Look at the bonus round.
He got extra.
So we're here on the Castrol strand with Michael from Castrol Filters. Michael, this is a new development on Castrol. It's your official licensee.
This project started actually 1.5 years ago. So we are official and exclusive producer and distributor of Castrol filters under license of Castrol. And right now we are at the point of building distribution network throughout the Europe. So product appeared in UK last month, and right now we start to promote it, show the presence to the market. Also, you can find it already in many European markets like Poland, Sweden, Germany, Portugal, Spain, Italy, and many, many more. So actually, this is just the beginning of distribution of the product.
And you're telling me there that as quality-wise, that you're actually an original equipment supplier as well?
Yes, of course. We are a manufacturer of filters for many brands worldwide. We have also private brands. We supply big brands from the aftermarket as well, and this is the reason why we got this exclusive contract from Castrol. So as for the quality, it matches the premium brands and OE quality. Just also to match the Castrol quality in general. All those filters you see here, and we're gonna have over 2,000 filters in range at the moment. Later, of course, we're gonna extend. All of them needed to be tested in BP facilities. They had to receive special certificates and be, in general, approved and confirmed by Castrol.
I think that's brilliant. It doesn't surprise me, because I know what BP and Castrol are like. They're so protective.
They're very strict, but that's very good because also we manufacture, like we are used to it because we are manufacturing for many big brands, yes. So we know how important it is to meet those high requirements to offer the highest quality product.
We've just spoke down the other stand there about all the different products they have, the sprays, everything, all the garage consumables. But now, say, this is news to me as well, that the actual complete filtration range, you're really going for a complete package.
Yeah, I think it's natural development, especially like Castrol oils, Castrol filters. So I think it's giving consumers better solutions, because not only one kind of product, but also other kind of products.
It's really mean that the Castrol is going to be your one-stop shop for your servicing.
Sorry?
Your Castrol just sort of means that in the future, when you see a Castrol service partner, you know it's going to be a one-stop shop.
That's, I think that's the idea behind it, to add new product lines to Castrol range, to offer this complex solution, yes.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for visiting us.
So we're here in the AS stand. You can see here's a cut open of an alternator and the moving parts of what's going on it. And most of the alternator doesn't actually move. There's a very small amount of it does. But if you come over here, you'll see a full breakdown of what's in an alternator and what goes on in it. Your alternator's not working, you have no power to charge your battery, so you won't have enough power to run and drive your systems. And if you have no starter, well, you're not going anywhere anyway. So we're on the JLM Lubricants stand with Colin Benzie here now. Colin, we enjoyed the pleasure of having your CEO over with us before Christmas.
Right, okay.
Gilbert Groot was over.
Gilbert, yes,
He's done the podcast with us, and you are the UK branch of JLM Lubricants.
We are, yes. So we're the sole UK distributor for JLM, and yes, know Gilbert very well.
Yeah, and how are you getting on, or what's your biggest selling product over here as opposed to what we have at home?
Without a doubt, it's the DPF cleaning toolkit and the various preventative ways of cleaning DPFs and preventing them blocking. Everyone to a man that comes here, hopefully now most of them have heard of JLM, but certainly they're interested in DPF cleaning, and then we normally get them on board with it from that.
Yeah, because we know it's, I know we got a great history of the company and also the product, the information behind the product technology from Gilbert when he was over. But it's interesting to see in different markets that it's still the number one product over here as well.
Still doing really well, and we're fortunate to have two people from A&J Fleet Care with us today who run their own garage. Yeah. They've got extensive knowledge in DPF cleaning, so we've got everything covered here, and then we've got some members of JLM coming over tomorrow as well. So not Gilbert, unfortunately, but we've got Jerome, he's coming over. Hi. So we've got everything covered from the sales side of it, the distribution, and these guys from the garage. Great technical knowledge.
And one of the things I didn't realise that JLM did until Gilbert visited us, he brought out a product catalogue. Like, there's an amazing suite of products there.
There is. We've got the whole range here with the stay. So, like I say, everything from preventative to cure, but also in the petrol side of it as well. Direct injection cleaners, which are proving a big issue at the moment. Yeah. GPF cleaner that's in there. And then the service additives for things like oil, and radiator cleaners and the cleaner flush.
There's even things like, I know, like the JLM, the cavity wax spray, underbody coatings. Oh, Keith that does the podcast as well with us, he's big into restoring older cars, he loves his BMWs. And Gilbert saying, yeah, look, he says, next time you're doing one, we have products. So definitely, I think it's worthwhile getting a wee bit more product knowledge out there, that it's not just DPF cleaner, but
no, and there are, I know before we came out here, we just had a technical call in the morning. And there are a few more products coming out very soon. So the next catalogue is in final production and should be going into print very soon in the next few weeks. So look out for some new products.
Excellent. You've just rebranded as well, Liquid Tools from...
Liquid Tools, yes. It's always nice to have a rebrand and a new strap line. So yes, we've tried to make it a little bit more simpler now. And yes, it's just Liquid Tools. It kind of says it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, and there's just more of the good stuff in there.
Yeah, brilliant.
All right.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
We go down into cylinders, down through injectors, and you want to have a wee look at what's going on around the piston walls. The snap-on camera we have, it's got a side view camera and a down view, but to be able to literally have a look around.
So you can actually check the bore, the wall.
Yeah. We're here on this TMD friction stand with Kate. Kate, you're with TMD now a long few months?
Yeah, so I've been with the company since February, so I'll give you a bit of background on me. So I've come from Volkswagen, I've done all my apprenticeship through them, so I'm level 3 light vehicle qualified technician. Just wanted a bit of a change in dynamic of career, so managed to get a job with this company, and I'm now the technical specialist support for the UK. So my job entails now travelling up and down, offering any technical support to point of end customers. If they've got any issues with any juddering, vibration, anything within the brake discs and the braking system. me and my colleague, we go out and we do little workouts where we promote best practice. With getting the discs back up to basically, it's all about the cleaning element and fitting element. We can eliminate all issues from that point, then likelihood is you're not going to get those returns back of any discs juddering. So we try and push a lot to do with best practice. We do a lot with schools as well. So we will go and do stuff with colleges and things like that. So from my point of view with TMD, it's been a good few months so far. I am enjoying it.
That's great, but it's great to see also that someone's coming from a mechanical background, because there's some of your competitors, and we've had visitors from them that were gurus.
Yeah.
And I think are actors. So it's great to see that someone's an actual mechanic.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really understood what I wanted to go into when I was at school, like most kids that don't really know. So I've tried different careers, etc. But I've always wanted to do engineering, so that's when I've kind of followed through with it. And then, here I am now, 5 months later, working for one of the global manufacturers of the brake friction system of the world. So it's worked out quite well.
And come here, what's TMD? They are one of, if not the leader in friction, because I know you work with a lot of other companies as well, and share a lot of parts. But what's new? What's coming down the road?
So I wouldn't be able to say specifically, because I don't know from
hypothetically what's coming.
Hypothetically, obviously the way the world's evolving at the moment and everything with technology, especially with the EV vehicles coming in, and that obviously things are going to be changing in that aspect. Maybe looking at things a little bit more in depth, but other than that, there's not much more that I can say on that topic, unfortunately. But just keep your eye out, and TMD will be making some changes.
To see, just in general, there's wee things. Is there any interesting information? You can see the likes of, we know these discs here, the two-piece ones, the likes of, you can see a lot of them in the likes of 5 Series and things like that. Wee things about, you're talking about brake judder and shutting that, about not, the mechanics typically grabbing the discs and spinning them around, and that being an issue. What are common issues you're seeing? So
common issues that I tend to see is a lot of juddering and what people describe as warping, but discs don't actually warp. It's an Americanized term that's used. For a disc to be able to warp, you would actually have to melt that component back down to its metallic point for it to be able to then warp. It's all to do with the oscillations of the disc. So obviously, depending on the car, can also influence that as well. But our job is, obviously, we've got our experts that look through all the friction, see if there's anything that can be changed in the friction that may. Our main aim of TMD friction is to get that noise vibration as quiet as possible, so you can't physically hear it. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors as well, obviously, with the people that are doing all the tests in the lab, etc., things like that. So I personally don't really see much of that. Obviously, more so what's out on the road with customers, garages, schools, things like that. So from that point of view, I don't really see much. But obviously, from being the person that fits these, from going from that to now promoting it and being the specialist for the company, it's a big thing. There's still a lot of stuff for me to learn as an individual as well. It's opening up my eyes to a lot of stuff that I wasn't taught as an apprentice. So it's good. It is good.
Oh, thanks for hitting.
No problem. No problem at all.
How's it going?
That's a bit ropey. Take it here.
See, Ian's fanny. So we're here on the main Castrol stand here in Automechanika 2025 in Birmingham, EC. We're with Richard Gardner from Castrol. Richard, you are business development. What area do you cover in the UK?
So I cover the south. So I live in South London, and the easiest way to describe how big my area is, I go all the way from Penzance to Dover, and I cover the south coast. So it's quite a large geographical area.
Yes, very good. So how many workshop customers do you have typically?
In total, last time I checked, it was 175. So, I mean, quite a fair few of those are a large mix, but effectively, 175 customers in my area.
And how many of them progress into the Castrol workshop program?
Quite a few. Quite a few. There's so many different aspects to what we offer in the UK, obviously what we do offer in Ireland now as part of CERTA. So in terms of Castrol service, I've probably got, I'd say 25 to 30 customers.
That's the full branded program?
That's the full branded program, the top level, top whack if you want to call it. We've then got proud to use, which you're part of yourself. So I'd probably say a larger percentage of those, and then I've got essentials and transactional, which is literally just where they just buy oil and that's it. So I cover anything from one-man bands to mobile workshops to a customer I took on recently that's got 8 ramps in their workshop. So I'll literally cover everything from a one-man band to an 8-man band, if you like.
And what I'm trying to sort of feel out for is the garages that went with the full branded program. So what change have these seen? Because obviously you mentioned earlier that in England there's a lot of franchise dealers, which would be main brand dealers. They're sort of closing down, and that's leaving a great opportunity to come in and have you pretty much you're ready to go. We don't have that now, and so what I'm trying to see is what the benefits of the guys that went fully branded. Have they seen a different type of customer? Where's the benefit in it?
I would definitely say that if any garage is looking to take on Castrol service, it's probably a good time to do it. Castrol, as you know, is factory fill for Ford, for Renault, for some of the major leading car brands. So when you look under a bonnet of a Ford Focus, you'll see Castrol written on the oil cap. Yeah. So once a customer's got that in their head of, okay, well, my local Ford dealer's closed down, where do I go to get a service? And they'll open their bonnet, the first thing they see is Castrol on the oil cap.
Yes.
So you've always got that sort of, thought in the back of a customer's mind. And what I've noticed as well is, some main dealers will lose their franchise, but they'll then become a branded workshop or, an independent workshop, and they'll look to take on a brand that associates them with something much larger. And that's part of what the network does in the UK, is just building that network up. So we're creating the brand of trusted garages. And what we've sort of noticed is, yes, okay, as I said earlier, out of 10 customers, how many people ask them, or ask you, what oil was used? Yeah. And the answer is none, maybe one, if you're lucky. Yeah. But having your brand aligned with Castrol, it takes away that worry. It takes away that, it eradicates that issue of are they using the correct oil or what oil is being used, because they already expect a level of service that you're going to give them because you're aligned with Castrol. Yeah. So it eradicates, the cost factor of it as well, because they know what they're getting when they come to you. So
they're not coming off it cheap.
Exactly. So you're kind of losing, yes, okay, you may lose some of your customer base, but you might gain more of the correct customer, or, the
customer that wants a good product.
Exactly. And look, at the end of the day, we've all been there. We need to raise the average invoice value, so that would be one way of doing it. Yeah. And in the grand scheme of things, let's say Mrs. Jones's car, she's got a Volvo, and it takes 530 C3, for example. Yes, okay, we might be 25, 30 pence a litre more than a background brand from a motor factor, but when you look at it, if it's 5 litres, if it's 25p, it's it's £1.50, it's nothing. Yeah. So when you, in the grand scheme of things, you could probably charge Mrs. Jones an extra £1 or an extra £2 because you're using a premium oil. Yeah. So you're covering that, your oil price has gone up with, we are Castrol. Yep. We use Castrol oil.
It's professional. And as well as that, for buying the Castrol oil, you're getting all the branded signage and everything.
Exactly.
So it's not, so that's, the money is going somewhere.
Yeah, and also there's no cost to join Castrol, it's just a commitment to buy oil. And at the end of the day, part of my job is to make sure I'm giving you the correct oil or the correct, range of like a stock pack, if you want to say. So it's not a case of, great, you've signed a contract with us, here's loads of oil, see you later, and we walk off. No, we're in this for the long run.
But I know as well as when our local representative, Patrick McTeague, when he came round and we spoke about the programme, which is the Proud to Use one, he was very clear on the fact that, you have to give a certain, you have to have a certain level of service. You can't just be a backstreet garage that's using crap parts. Like, he come in and he checked to make sure customer toilets, they were clean, your reception area. Yeah. So there was a bit of check now first. So even though it's the commitment to buy an oil from Castrol and not using an inferior brand as such, but it's not just that. It's to show a level of service as well. There's a criteria there, and for people that don't have that criteria, there's support there to lift you up.
Yeah, 100%.
To that level.
It's what you've also got to remember is our commitment to you is to deliver a level of service, but then what we expect is for you to then deliver a level of service to the end user, which ironically is, that's where our oil was going, and that's where your service is going. So we want to make sure that it goes full circle, to make sure that, the I's and the T's are dotted and crossed, to make sure that you're doing everything correctly as well as what we are.
Yeah, so you just basically, what you're looking to do is you're looking to assist us in carrying the name of the Castrol brand.
Yeah. Right. At the end of the day, we're not here just to sell you lots of oil. yes, okay, if you want to buy lots of oil, not a problem at all. I'm happy with that. But what I want to make sure is to make sure that we give you the correct products at the correct delivery times, making sure the service is on point, and also any technical questions as well, which is something that you know, the whole team is trained on at least a basic technical knowledge. So if you have an issue, you can come to us straight away. We're a phone call away, WhatsApp, whatever, and we'll answer that question very quickly. If we don't, we've got, you know, there's people here from Castrol UK as well that we've got contacts with. So I can pick up the phone to Yulia or to Simon and say, Simon, I've got an issue with a gearbox oil or a coolant, help me out, and they'll give me the answer straight away. So it's nice to know that I've got that backup as well as you having that backup.
Yeah, it's great. That's great peace of mind. But what's even a better peace of mind for me is the fact that we don't have trouble. We don't have engine failure. We don't have issues with that because we operate preventive maintenance. We change oils regularly. So as far as I'm concerned, once you're working with a good company, a reputable brand, you know, as I say, you're talking about working with manufacturers. We were tendering for a job last week, big enough contract, 300 vehicles, and one of some of the vehicles Renault Masters, and went through the service schedule of them, and specifically says on them, use Castrol, whatever the particular grade was for that vehicle. So it's when the customer opens out the glove boxes, you say, right, this is what you should be doing. Where can I get it?
Exactly.
So, in Ireland, if you're looking for it, certa.ie.
In the UK, if you're looking for it, just look for Certas Energy, Certas Lubricants, or the Race Group.
Thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's good to talk to you.
Still going around here at Automechanika 2025, and we've just come on the PowerPro stand. We've met with Dave. Dave, I've bought one of these PowerPro testers off my local Snap-on dealer, and I said the instructions were a wee bit unclear, so
a little bit.
Dave's going to give us a wee run through now of the PowerPro.
Yeah, this is the PowerPro PP draw or draw monitor, and it's so you can easily, quickly measure any parasitic drain on the vehicle. It's basically a big 12-volt rechargeable battery in this box. You connect to the car's OBD2 port. And then when you first connect, you should see a battery voltage type of number. That means I do have a good connection to the battery. There's no blown fuse or anything. Then I'll select Smart Output. Now the tool is trying to provide power. The next thing I have to do, and this is usually the part that's unclear, I have to disconnect the car's battery, which I have it on this switch here. Now all the power to the vehicle is coming from this battery, and you can see as I turn things on and off, it shows my total drain.
Right, so the vehicle's now been powered off this?
Correct.
So that's how you can tell the drain?
All the electrical power to the vehicle is coming out of this now.
Right, so that didn't, because that was what I was clear about, because I was wondering, how can this thing tell the draw on the battery? So you're saying now it's actually the draw.
This is the battery.
Right, that makes sense then.
Yep.
And would that work with every vehicle or only certain?
For, I would say about 98% at this time. There are some very new late model vehicles, 23 and 24 Hondas that I run into, where the OBD2 fuse is in a module itself.
Yes.
So if I try to backfeed it, it activates that module and causes its own drain.
I get you.
No, you don't necessarily. There are accessories you can buy. We may be adding them to our catalog, but I can convert this 16 pin to battery clamps or cigarette lighter or whatever I need. As long as I'm supplying power to the vehicle from this, then that measurement will be accurate.
Perfect. No, because I know when you connect up your digital multimeter and try and do the draw test on it, it's not always just perfectly clear. You have a much better display there. It's very clear. It's very easy to read. And you can see much easier if you do have a draw.
Correct. You can also have a graph on here, and there's a Bluetooth link. So you could have this information on your phone or tablet while you're in another part of a car.
So if you're walking under the bonnet, for talk's sake, you can, yes, you're carrying it. Brilliant.
Right.
Looking forward to using mine now. There's no way to use it. And so tell me more, right? So that's pretty much that.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize it's also acting like a memory saver. So as I disconnect and reconnect the battery, you never see anything blink. So if it's done right, you're never losing power. You're not going to lose any memories, any presets, any adaptions. We've heard horror stories of like people pulling into a parts store, changing the battery in the parking lot, and the car doesn't start again because they didn't use a memory saver. So even being able to measure parasitic draw is a powerful feature, but just the memory saver function alone. Anytime I'm changing the battery, I'm going to use this thing as a memory saver, and if there's a parasitic draw that's happening that killed the battery in the first place, I'll be able to catch it then.
Very good. Brilliant. And what else have we got here now? What's this for?
So we know we have a drain, let's say.
Yeah.
Now I've got to figure out what's causing the drain, or what circuit is causing too much drain. This is our newest tool. We call it a PP fuse, and this will read current just by probing the test points on the top of the fuse.
Right, so we can read current going through that fuse.
Correct. So you can dial in here the fuse type. There's mini, maxi, and standard ATC. You dial in the fuse rating. Like here I got a 7.5 amp fuse. You hit the 2 fuse test points. Now the first step is at the end here. So if it's an active fuse, that means there's current going across that fuse. If there was no current, inactive. So if I'm going down a whole panel of fuses, I only care about the ones that say active. There's a whole button on the side if you can store that reading, but then there's your current draw reading. That's how much current was going through that fuse. So you can determine if that was the circuit causing your battery drain or not. It's pretty simple and easy to use. They kind of work together. Your PP draw tells you if you have a drain. The PP fuse helps you find which circuit is causing the drain.
Brilliant. And come here, there's a new version of the wire break tester. Do you have that here?
The short and open detector? Yeah, over on the other side.
Yeah, let's go for a look at that.
So this is the Power Probe ECT 3000 short and open locator. The goal of this tool is I want to be able to, at least within a certain range, locate where my short or my broken wire is without tearing the whole car apart.
We had an incident a couple of weeks ago where the Volkswagen Tiguan had a break in the wire under the loom in the door, and there was a bit of labour involved in actually stripping the car to detect the loom where the break was. So I'm just looking at this tool here thinking, if we had had that, we could have identified the break much quicker. So show me how it works.
Hopefully. It's a pretty simple concept. This transmitter is powered by the vehicle's battery. It will put a signal into the circuit, whatever problem wire you have, that you're going to basically follow along with this handheld receiver. But it does take a little bit of technique to get the best results. I'll do a little demo, and I've set up a short here. So that irritating tone means I definitely do have a short on this circuit. Normally you turn that off. But you might be in the car, moving things around, yanking on wires. Maybe you do something that causes the short to go away. You'll hear it change that other tone. So especially if you have intermittent things going on that only happen as you're bouncing down the road, just connecting this transmitter to your wiring and doing some wiggle tests might help you out in your diagnosis.
Right, so if the wire's about to break but it hasn't fully broken yet, by just moving the loom where you think it may be, you can go around and find it, or help find it, locate it.
But typically you're going to be using it with this receiver. Now when I turn it on, you can see it's already telling me the direction to the short, no matter how I hold the tool.
So that's telling you the way the power is flowing.
You're right. But there's a couple of important steps, like I said, some techniques to get the best results out of this. For all you guys that don't read the manual, and I'm one of those guys that tends to skip reading the manual.
Figure it out.
First important step is there's a sensitivity lock button. So say this circuit was a lighting circuit that went to every corner of the car. This thing considers a light bulb a short, just as well as a regular short. So unless I lock the signal in, I could be going down any 4 of those directions. Once the signal's locked in, you usually go either on the car or over the screen wire, set the working distance you want, lock yourself in. Now, even if it's on a multiple leg circuit, it's going to stay on the leg that has the short, that has the least resistance. And then understand where it's picking up the signal will help you out too. It says short right here on the side of this receiver. This area right here at the bottom is the short antenna. This tip is the antenna for the open signal. But it does read off that bottom edge. And it's also directional. So see if I hold it 90 degrees, it doesn't indicate anything. Now, we're assuming you're moving blind, like through paneling or carpeting or something like that. You might want to come around this side. But I say, once you pick up the signal, just keep moving straight until you lose it. And then see if it didn't change direction on you. And you can kind of see where I'm going, but at some point, you're going to get to a spot where you lose the signal. All right, nothing else out here. I can be pretty confident that's where my short or my break is. Works the same way on opens. The only difference on an open, you don't get the directional arrows. It just lights up the center dot.
Right. Well, that's brilliant. Look, Aaron, thanks very much for explaining that to us. And Dad, where can all these products be got?
Most of your regular retailers, your tool truck dealers, your ISN, your Sorencos, if not, you can buy directly from us, but you probably get a better discount from some of the other tool dealers.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Grant, so that's us. We're finished up there at Automechanika 2025 in the Birmingham NEC. Ian, what did you think of that? Seen plenty today.
Thought it was great. There was a lot of new things coming out. Few freebies. That you can't complain with.
We're going to be overweight the playing at home.
Yeah, it was nice to see that there was enthusiasm in the hall with a lot of new things coming out, new tools, new software, new technology, and something to try and keep us ahead of the game, because every day it's a school day that you don't want to get stuck behind. You want to keep on evolving and getting better with yourself.
That's a good point. There actually is. That's one of the things, because sometimes when you're around home and it's all doom and gloom and everyone's moping about this and that and other. I know it doesn't matter what trade you're in, there's always a bit of moping, but definitely you hit the nail on the head there. There's a lot of positivity about the trade over here. Everyone's happy going forward. There's no one worried about anything. So hopefully you enjoyed what we brought back from Automechanika, and we're going to get out of here before Ryanair leaves us behind again. Look.